I used a product called Abocrete, a self-leveling epoxy compound. I used it on my whole basement floor, which was a big mistake. After 1 month, it bubbled up and cracked and peeled off. Abocrete is a great product, but you only need to use a little bit at a time for cracks. And if you're going to use it, make sure you scrub the basement floor really well so that it'll adhere better. So my basement has two sections. This is the back section of my house, which I'm going to do first. I moved all my furniture out of here into the front part of the basement. I used a roofing tool to get up most of the pieces. And a steel joint knife. This is thin enough to get right underneath each piece and lift it up. I got as much of it off as possible. Vacuum and clean it all up. I used an aluminum pan, handy foil from the supermarket, gloves, stick, rapid set concrete leveler from Home Depot, and water. I did small batches at a time. Get enough water in there so it's a nice smooth consistency. And make sure you wet the ground before you put it on. Has to be wet on wet for it to adhere properly. I'm spraying the seams between each batch that I poured. And you can use your gloved hands and kind of wiggle through it because it'll just self-level right back up. You want to break up these little balls of powder too. You can use your stick, your fingers. The lighter sections here are where I added too much water or where the water pooled because it's all unlevel. That's called modeling. You just kind of sweep it off. To vacuum all those little pieces up. I used Elasto lock for the walls. And I put 2 inches of it over top of the floor. I also used it to paint the sewer pipes. So I used the Bear brand from Home Depot, the concrete and garage 1-part epoxy coating. They have in 1 gallon and 5 gallon. You can get it mixed any color you want. I chose a gray, Sonic Silver. And you want the white base, that way they can mix any color into it. I'm using a chip brush here. I have more control over brushing. But you can use a roller, a larger brush, and I did 2 coats. I also went over top of the baseboard with the epoxy paint. That section on the wall, I have it peeled off. So I'm gonna have to repaint that with a Laster Lock. After you paint it, you don't see any of those imperfections as much. The nice thing about this, my basement always had a strong odor that went through my house. And once I put the concrete down, it sealed in all the odors. It locked everything in. I don't smell anything. And the radon's really high in my town. So the cracks were all filled in, so the radon won't be escaping. This is the front part of my basement. I used a hose this time. I pulled it down through, and I really soaked the floor up. I got this aluminum pan, gloves, stick. Make sure to wear a mask. The dust flies everywhere. I used the hose this time, which made it a lot quicker and easier. You want to get it nice and smooth and break up all the balls of powder. This is perfect, this consistency. Break apart the balls of powder. Okay, so you see these? You can just push them out if you didn't get them. There. I'm gonna spray this. Blend it. Now this doesn't dry super fast, so you have a lot of time to work with it. Right here I added too much water. It pooled into the corner, but you just spread it around. All right, after I finished pouring, I noticed there's different colors of the concrete. I have a feeling this one might be Lowe's. And this is Home Depot. This one's nice and smooth. This is smooth too, but it's a different smoothness. I'm not sure either if I put too much water in this versus these. But there's definitely a different variation. These could be Lowe's too. And these are Home Depot. This one's a little bit bumpier. But I think I prefer Home Depot. Now the little bumps, you can easily scrape them right up or use a brick and kind of drag it over top of it lightly. And make sure to vacuum everything up clean. The epoxy paint didn't have a strong odor, which was really good. But I still wore a mask. I used a larger brush and I did 2 coats. The nice thing about this paint is you can use soap and water and it cleans right up. And the reason why I use the aluminum pan is for this. Cleanup time, you just break it all, push it all together, break it up, throw it in the trash. Here's the finished look. You can still see the seams. It's hard to get a perfect flat finish on it, but it's still good. This is going to be my new gym. Thanks for watching. If you like and you want to see more videos, subscribe.